Hi, this is Sarah Russell, and today I'm going to talk with you about how to do research. Um, if you are a holistic nutrition practitioner, it is a really good idea to stay on top of research without going crazy about trying to learn everything, trying to know everything, or trying to convey the idea to your clients that you know everything. That is not in any way the purpose of doing research. The purpose of doing research is to to be able to give your clients the best practical tips possible that are grounded in evidence-based clinical practice, and B, to feel confident, and C, to just keep learning, which is a really important part of just being human. Um, so um, part of what I invite you to do in in the process of becoming a better researcher is to really be client-centered in your researching. Um, have the research be specifically aimed at learning specific information and without the desire to be overly certain about anything. Part of what will happen when you read different research on a question or topic is that you're going to see conflicting opinions. Um, do not go into research trying to have a definitive answer, especially like what is right or wrong. Try to find the best answer for your client's specific situation. Um, and also, you can tell your client there is conflicting evidence on soy for the specific situation that you are in. Um, do you like soy? Then have a little bit of organic, miso, tempeh, and edamame every once in a while and see how you feel. It sometimes there are gray areas. Um, additionally, sometimes what you have learned or what you thought you knew or what you were taught, um, when you go into the research, you'll find out that that was actually not true. Um, or there's new research that discounts or puts into question the validity of what was previously the conventional wisdom on a specific topic. Um, Information is changing all the time. You don't have to, as a clinician, you're not a researcher. You are a person who researches as, um, it is a tool. Research is a tool for you to be able to give practical suggestions and to be able to know the things that you need to know in order to do a good job. Uh, so when you research, you can use search terms in your browser. Um, I don't. I use Start Page. I find that to be a good browser for my personal um, needs. And what I'll do if I want to look at peer-reviewed scientific information is I will type into Start Page the specific topic, with keywords that I think are useful, and then I'll use the term, the keyword NCBI or PubMed, and that will bring up scientific citations, so that I don't have to read through non peer-reviewed stuff and try to decide whether it is garbage or not. That is it can be grueling and it is a bit of a waste of time. So I'm not saying that I never read like people's blog posts. I think those are interesting, but I don't really consider them to be necessarily research. When you read someone's blog posts, they should have scientific citations and you should be able to click on those and view them and assess them. So part of research is researching other people's references. And you will also do that when you read scientific articles. Now, when you read a scientific article, you don't have to expect yourself to understand everything, especially if you don't come from an academic or science research background. It's a steep learning curve. Study designs and things like that, you won't necessarily understand all of it. Read the abstract, read the findings, read the conclusions. It gets easier every time you read another paper. It's easier to understand the previous one. So um, You can also, you know, if this is something that you want to deepen, there are books written on how to read a scientific paper, and there are also free or very low cost courses on basic research methods that you can look for on Coursera or other platforms for adult education, higher learning, things like that. So when, and you can also, when you read a research paper and you're not really sure about something, or you would like more information, you can look at the study authors' names and you can email them and ask them questions. Usually people are actually pretty excited when someone gets in touch with them to ask them questions about a paper. So you don't need to feel intimidated about doing that. The worst thing that can happen is the person ignores you or never sees your email. And like, you know, in that case, you've just lost a couple minutes of your time writing an email that doesn't receive an answer. I've authored some peer-reviewed research, and I've had really interesting exchanges with people who have read my papers and cited them, and so it's always rewarding, you know, as the author of a paper to engage in conversation with people. So that, just so you know, it is totally normal and fine for you to get in touch with someone. So anyway, when you research, just try to keep it, you know, goal oriented. So I'm, you know, looking for information on whether, you know, a specific food might be helpful for a specific trait that my client has. You know, so for example, if your client has high homocysteine, well, you know, if I'm trying to research something that is very basic in terms of like blood chemistry markers, I actually, I have some good book references at home that I like to use. So for example, you know, for a question like what to do about high homocysteine, I would actually open up, I'll show you my book that I would open up. Good old Alan Gaby's Nutritional Medicine. I have the second edition. There's also a first edition. And apparently they are both very good, but I have the second edition and that is the most updated one. And it's probably more comprehensive and updated. And it has a section on each and every nutrient. And it also has a section on many different health conditions. It has a really good glossary at the end, so you can, and I'm sorry, an index in the end, at the end of the book, so you can look up specific topics like, say, homocysteine, and then it will take you to a chapter or section that will tell you all about, you know, factors that can affect homocysteine. So if a person has low homocysteine, which does sometimes happen, or high homocysteine, which frequently happens, then you can look at what the factors are that can affect that. And it will give you a whole section on different nutrients that can help lower homocysteine. And then you can go and look nutrient by nutrient in the book. This is an amazing book to see how specifically it matches your client's clinical conditions. So yeah, I mean, I use PubMed a lot. I use StatPearls a lot, which is part of PubMed. It is a section basically where you can find out the basic rundown on specific health conditions. It's a great place to start learning about it, about a new condition that you're, you know, that a client may be coming to you with, and you know, figuring out whether it is something that you feel like you can help them with, or whether there might be someone that you know who is a better match that you can refer out to. I don't recommend working with too many different types of health conditions, unless that is really what you want to do. It is helpful, especially in the first part of your career, to specialize a little bit. So it is a really nice idea, you know, if you read about a specific condition and you're not like, oh yeah, I would love to work with a lot of people who have this issue. If it's just like a one-off thing and you're not super excited to work with that specific person or more people who have that condition, just find out who you know who has already worked with that condition and refer the person out with confidence and ease, and let that be part of your referral network. You don't have to say yes to every single prospective client who comes through your door. That is a good way to get fatigue as a practitioner. So yeah, research is great. I love researching. I love learning new things. I love reading. I actually have a pretty good memory, so that helps too. And I'm fairly organized in terms of like saving good references that I found online for specific conditions. So I try to keep a fairly decent indexing system for articles that I have previously found helpful for specific conditions, so that can make it efficient. The next time I have someone say with eczema or whatever, then I can find the good papers easily again. And then, I may also, if it's been a couple of years, I will run a new search because there may be some brand new papers that came out on eczema since I last checked. So that is also something to keep in mind. New scientific information, new discoveries, new studies, new cool things come out all the time. I typically read several research papers every week, partly because I like doing it and partly because I do have a specific practical need in my clinical practice and also in my mentoring work to be able to keep on top of specific conditions and learning new information as I go. I personally prefer reading books and articles to taking continuing education courses. I tend to learn more in just as an everyday reader and lifelong learner than I do from courses. But sometimes part of research will also be taking a good blood chemistry course if that's something that you need to learn how to do. I don't recommend doing too much advanced learning early in your practice. Let your practice guide you in the directions that you need to go, both in terms of what you need to learn through daily research and learning, and in terms of what types of advanced learning courses may be the most helpful to you in your clinical practice. You don't need to know all the things. Don't learn things first and then hope for the people to come. Let the people come to you and find out what it is that they need you to know. Because if you specialize in something, if you hyper specialize in something, you may find that different types of people are coming to you with completely different needs, and you don't always feel like, oh yeah, I've put all that learning that I did to good use. Just sort of get started and learn as you go. It is so much better and so much less exhausting than trying to learn all the things and then trying to get all the clients that match all the things that you have learned and trying to fit the two pieces together. That can be a lot of work. So that's really all I wanted to say in terms of a quick introduction to research. It is not linear. There isn't like one place where you will learn everything you need to know. And the great thing is learning should be fun. And you don't need to have the pressure, and you definitely shouldn't have the pressure to feel like you should know everything, or that you need to give the impression to people that you know everything. You will actually be a much better practitioner and a much happier person if you let go of any of those expectations that you have. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I would love to hear from you. What was most useful to you from this short video? What is it that you would still like to learn? Is there anything kind of unaddressed that you've been struggling with? That this video didn't fully answer for you? Get in touch. I would love to talk. Okay, take care.